So whenever I hear women say that it's impossible for women to have sex with a man without catching feelings, I believe that that is a multi-layered issue. So for an example, I think a small part of it is hormones, oxytocin, the cuddle hormone or whatever they call it, right? Where you want to just snuggle up with a guy after you have sex with him and you just feel closer to him and you feel like you're building a bond and whatever else. But I also think the vast majority of it is like programming. Like you are told that sex is sacred and it's all these things and you have to save yourself for the right guy and you have to be pure, and you program all of this into a woman's mind. And yes, a lot of women are going to see sex as this like sacred thing and you have to catch feelings for a guy, and it's all like mental programming in my opinion. Okay. But I think for me, that the main reason why I and women like me are able to have sex with a guy and have like no feelings for this man whatsoever, it's just sex, right? For some of us, depending on the guy, depending on where we are in our lives, depending on what we're looking for, it's multi-layered. So I think because I'm able to feel that way, I believe that I feel that way because I understand that for men, sex doesn't mean all of that for most men. Sex is just a physical release for most men. If we want to keep it a stack, most men will stick their dicks in anything. Anything that is a hole, that is wet, that is warm, that is tight. That could be your vagina. It could be his homeboy's asshole. It could be a cat, a dog. It could be a sock. It could be a fucking teddy bear. I mean, it could be anything. He's going to get off. So listen, I'm being really serious right now. If we know instinctively that, maybe we don't know this instinctively, but if we know in our minds that most men, for most men, sex is just a physical release, they don't be like, oh, I'm so emotionally attached to every hole that I stick my dick in. They're not emotionally attached to that blow up doll. Unless they have mental issues, right? They're not emotionally attached to that sock, their hand, the neighborhood raccoon, right? His homeboy's asshole. I'm not trying to be funny. They're not emotionally attached to those holes. It's just a physical release. So I feel like if women knew this, more women would be able to have sex with men without being emotionally attached. That is just my own personal opinion, okay? I know most women, you probably have never heard a woman say this before, but that's the beauty of my channel. I say things that people, in most cases, probably never even thought of before. But whenever, I've been told that I'm lying when I tell people I can have sex with a guy and not care if I ever see the nigga again. Now, I've never had a one night stand before. I always wondered what that would be like, but I don't have to be emotionally attached. Listen, I have met guys. We become friends. We were cool as shit. I was very attracted to them sexually, physically, whatever. And I knew this nigga ain't shit. He's a hoe. What they used to say, he's a hoe. He's a freak. Got a different girl every day of the week. Like literally, that's most dudes that I come in contact with in my past, right? So I already knew that. So there was nothing in me that said boyfriend material or husband material or father to my child material must capture him and make him mine. Like there was nothing about these men, most of them at least, that made me feel that way. It was like, he's fun to be around. This dude is a fucking comedian, an undiscovered comedian. Like he's funny as shit. His sense of humor is out of this world. His thought process. I've had conversations with guys who were flat out hoes, but they were very deep individuals. I would put them in the category of being an intellectual. I don't put most men in that category, because, especially not most black men. I'm sorry, but I don't. But I have met some men like that over the years. Wouldn't take them serious to save my life because I knew what kind of men they were. As far as like they were intellectual, they were smart, they were funny, blah, blah, blah. They were good fathers if they had kids, whatever it was, but they were not about to be faithful. And for me, that is how I measure a man when it comes to me wanting to be with you, that's the first thing. Can you keep your dick in your pants for me? Like, are you able to be around a bunch of beautiful, beautiful women? They're clamoring at you. They are like clawing at you. They're throwing their panties on stage, so to speak, whatever. And you're like, nah, you fine as hell, little mom, but I'm finna go home to my woman. Can you do that? And I found over the years, most men cannot do that. So this is why, for me personally, I don't really take men seriously. I can't. My brain won't let me. Because I know that for most men, it's just sex. It's just a physical release. I've known that for a very, 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 very long time. I've watched pretty much every woman that I've ever met get cheated on. These men, they could be wonderful in all other areas of life, but when it comes to being loyal to one woman, I don't know, right? And they tell you women, y'all, I'm saying y'all because look, I already know. I'm already up on game. I already know the game, right? They tell y'all women this on a regular basis. It ain't even natural for a man to be monogamous. A man is supposed to have X amount of wives. They had 8 wives in the Bible, blah, blah, blah. Abraham had 9, however many wives Abraham had, right? They love spitting this narrative and this nonsense, right? So they're telling you, like, you're not supposed to be shocked when you get cheated on because it's not natural for a man to be monogamous. It ain't even natural. So they're basically telling you, prepare for my cheating. At some point in time, it's going to happen. Like, that's basically what they're saying. That's how I see it, because that's exactly what the vast majority of them end up doing anyways. Either early into the marriage or later in the marriage. I've known guys that said they waited until like year 15 or year 20 and decided, I'm going through a midlife crisis. I realized I was bored. I started working at this new job and all the young women love me. And it started making me think, do I still got it? And next thing you know, he's, 50 some years old, but some 23-year-old has a crush on him and she wants to take him down through there and he gonna motherfucking do it, even though he's been married for 20 years or whatever. You know what I mean? They do this shit all the time. It's so ingrained in a lot of them. But this is why I don't really take them seriously. And this is why I'm able to, when I was having sex, I was able to like just fuck a guy and like, have a little rendezvous or whatever you want to call it for years with the same guy and like have no feelings for this guy whatsoever. My feelings didn't go further than like friendship. Like, I care about you as a person. I care about your well-being. I don't want to see anything happen to you. You're fun. You're a good dad, whatever it is. Like, but it never really went past that. I never looked at any of these guys and said, I want to marry them, even though men have proposed to me and wanted to marry me. But I'm like, do I really trust him like that? Do I really see myself growing old with this nigga? And the answer was always no. That's why I never got married in the past when I was asked. And that's why I don't think I ever will get married in the future. I really don't. I honestly don't see myself ever getting married. People are like, aren't you going to be lonely? And I'm like, no, I would be more lonely if I was married to a man that wasn't loyal to me. And listen, the vast majority of y'all's husbands are cheating on y'all. I say high 90 percentile. I'm sorry. And if they're not now, they will in the future. Something's going to happen in their lives and it's going to make them realize or think to themselves they can do better in their minds. You may be the best that they're ever going to get as a woman. A lot of y'all are good women, and I know that. But in their minds, right, they can do better. They want to see if they still got it. They're going to go through their midlife crisis, right? They realize one day they're going to die, so they're going to try to stay young forever now, or whatever it is. This is what they do. And they've done this throughout history. Every race of man goes through this fucking midlife crisis. I think that's where that phrase comes from, because so many husbands found themselves going through this and ended up cheating on their wives. They'll cheat on the wife. They'll go get them a sports car or a motorcycle, and they'll do all these things that they wish they would have done when they were in their 20s or whatever. They finally came into some money. They finally have a career, a job, whatever. And, things have, their parents died. Something is going to happen in these lives these men's lives major, that is going to make them step outside of the home. And I'm mainly talking about the ones who probably were faithful for a long time and then randomly just decided to, go sow his wild oats in his 40s, 50s, or 60s. I'm talking about those men. Because the vast majority of the other men that I'm not speaking about most likely have been cheating on you since the beginning of the marriage anyways. I'm not trying to be funny. They were already cheating. They were already cheaters. Many women married men even when they knew the men were cheating before they got married. So you can't expect anything different after that. You're just a fool at that point, right? But I'm talking about the men who, these wives are like, oh, my husband's been faithful to me. And they probably really have been. But for the vast majority of y'all, unfortunately, the infidelity is not going to come until probably year 20, year 28, year 37. You know what I'm saying? Into the marriage. That's how it goes. Now, don't get me wrong. Most marriages are not lasting that long in this day and age anyways. You'd be lucky to make it to 10 years. They call it the 7-year itch for a reason, but you'll be lucky to make it to 10 years. But let's, I don't know. I don't take men seriously in that way, just because I know how they're wired. There's just no point in me I'm going to be one of the lucky ones that, find me. And I might. That could happen. Am I banking on it happen? Absolutely not. I'm not banking on that happening at all. I'm not. I'm a numbers girl. I follow numbers. I follow trends. I see what's the norm out there. I see what's most likely to happen, what's most likely to not happen. I pay attention to that type of shit. And I'm usually right, but I'm not banking on it and I'm not waiting on it. It is not a priority. I just live my life and I just do me. Truth be told, I don't think I'll ever trust a man enough to marry him. I don't think so. Unless we have an arranged marriage and we both know that we're getting into it for business purposes and we're both allowed to do what we want to do. I don't have to sleep with him if I don't want to. You know what I mean? And we have some kind of understanding. But us being married will bring us an astronomical amount of money or opportunities or something like that. Maybe. That's the only way I could see myself getting married. It would have to be a major business arrangement, for real business arrangement. Marriage is a business arrangement anyway, regardless. But I'm talking about it would have to be on the upper echelon of businesses. Or, you know what I mean? It would have to be a billionaire wanted to marry me to show their dying mother that they found a wife. You know what I'm saying? But really he was gay and I don't have to sleep with him and I don't have to do anything. We just have to show up in public and take pictures. Some shit like that. Now, do I think that's ever going to happen? No. But that's literally what it would take for me to agree to marrying somebody. I'm being honest. I can't see any other way marriage will benefit me. And I didn't want this audio to be this long, but those are my thoughts. That's how I feel. I feel like if women knew how men really felt about sex, that men don't think the same way about sex that women do, a lot more women would not get so attached. They either would just stop having sex altogether because it's pointless, or they would do it for their own enjoyment without expecting love and a commitment and all this other bullshit in return. Do I think there are some men out there who do attach their emotions to sex? Yes. The ones with emotional intelligence. The ones who are able to tap into their femininity, their feminine side, should I say. The ones who can be sensitive, the ones who really have a very high level of emotional intelligence. And they would have to purposely choose that. It would be a conscious decision to do that. I just don't think it's that many men out there that exist like that. I don't. Most of them are not going to look at sex the way women do. It just is what it is. So, the moment a woman realizes that, you're putting your emotions into it, he's not. He's very skilled at lying to you and making you think that he's emotionally attached to you through sex. But these men, like I said before, they will fuck anything. So this has nothing to do with that for a man. Only we feel that way. And the only reason why we feel that way as women is because of the programming 9 times out of 10. That's most of it. Now, these are just my thoughts. Some of you guys will disagree. That's fine. If you agree or if you disagree, leave your thoughts. I would love to hear other people's thoughts on what I believe. Like that would be very interesting to me. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'll check y'all in the next one.